Get ready to hear the truth about America on a show that's not immune to the facts with your host, Dan Bongino.
All right, welcome to the Dan Bongino Show. Producer Joe, how are you today?
Happy Wednesday morning, Daniel. Good to be here, brother.
No, it's not happy. No, I'm tired. It's not happy. I'm tired. I'm telling you, this case is wearing me out.
This
is not happy.
Yeah.
It is. It's mentally, draining to me. I got to tell you, folks, I'm getting tired of this, back and forth with this nonsense with these imbeciles on social media, email, and elsewhere. These people don't understand the grave situation we're in with everything that's going on right now. I mean, we are facing probably one of the biggest constitutional crises in our republic in modern times. Yep. And there are people in the media like this lunatic jerk. I don't even know. I'm trying to keep this somewhat family friendly. Joe Scarborough, this lunatic on MSNBC comes out yesterday and says, hey, man, all this spying was done by the book. Yeah, it was done by the book, the Communist Manifesto. That's the book you're referring to, you dope. Yeah. I mean, I can't believe how many people are skewering their reputations, are taking like a shish kebab on open charcoal flames, skewering their reputations for the rest of their lives to go on the record on their own television shows and defend the police state when they know all of this is going to come out in the long run. It is just stunning. It is stunning how many people who want you to take them seriously. Mm-hmm. Rachel Maddow, Chuck Scarborough, or Joe Scarborough. Chuck Scarborough was a guy up in New York. Joe Scarborough, Brian Stelter Costanza at CNN, all these lunatic conspiracy theorists who are, burning their reputations in an open garbage can because they just can't get past the fact that orange man bad. We don't like Trump. It is disgusting. Oh, sorry, folks. I don't really open the show like that typically, but I'm not lying to you. The show is a raw, emotional show. Yeah. There's no teleprompter. There's no scripts. And you get what I got every day. And today you got a little bit of anger. Oh, so it's funny. I was just reading on Facebook. Some lady said, can you talk a little lower on your show? No, not today. Sorry. You may want to fast forward to tomorrow's show. We're waiting for the Mueller report to come out tomorrow. That's going to be huge. That's going to be a big show. Here's what I got for you today. Rant over. I'm going to prep you for what to see in this Mueller report and what to look for. There's a scam he's pulling. I'm going to expose the scam for you. Don't worry. I also want to get to some tax stuff and some Bernie stuff to show you what hypocrites these Democrats are and how little they know in this black hole of knowledge they live in. All right, today's show brought to you by our buddies at Genucel. Listen, we love Genucel in this house. They make the best products for our skin. Everybody in my house uses it. My mother-in-law, this is why she looks 20 years old, because of Genucel. You wish that double chin would just disappear? Are those bags and puffy? It's true. Are those bags and puffiness getting a little worse every day? Here's Robin S. from Lubbock, Texas. I put the jawline cream in my neck about 2 or 3 days ago. It's the best my neck has looked in over 20 years. Several people told me my face looks young. I am blown away. With Genucel's natural actives and a pure antioxidant base with no parabens, chemical scents, and no pharmaceutical preservatives. It's the clean luxury your skin, yes, you, deserves every day. Order right now. These sponsors want to be here talking to you. These are good companies. I use them. Order right now, and the Genucel jawline treatment is yours absolutely free for ordering the classic Genucel plant stem cell therapy for bags and puffiness. Here's what you got to do. Text the word young, because that's how you want to look. Young to 77453. Or go to Genucel.com. That's Genucel.com. Genucel works for men. It works for women. The results are in 12 hours or less. And the Genucel Immediate Effects is also included. Free. Order now. Get free 3-day shipping. Text young to 77453 or go to Genucel.com. That's Genucel.com. All right, let's go. Give me a bell ring, Joe. I need something to get me.
There you go, brother.
You know what? I'm going to start with this first because I don't know how long this is going to take, and it's important. The Mueller probe is going to drop tomorrow. The Mueller report, I should say, covering his witch hunt, disgraceful stain on American history probe of a president for a crime that never happened. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're a regular listener to the show and I cover this is where I'm going in book 2. My second book on this, Exonerated, the failed takedown of Donald Trump by the swamp. Please pick it up. You've been really helpful in helping us get an idea what the pre-orders are going to look like. The whole purpose of the Mueller probe, ladies and gentlemen, is for Mueller to keep the attention on Donald Trump, and this is, I believe, what his report is going to say. Keep the heat on Donald Trump. Keep the heat away from Hillary Clinton, the DOJ, and others. And the purpose of the Mueller probe was to keep it open as long as possible, to keep said heat on Donald Trump. Now, to keep the heat on Trump and to rescue the reputation of the Department of Justice and FBI, we tracking. Joe, please tell me, as the audience ombudsman, this makes sense, because where I'm going to go with this, preparing you for this drop tomorrow, you will be more prepared than anyone when you're done with this show. Will not make sense if you don't understand that.
I will.
The Mueller probe has to rescue the reputation of the DOJ and keep the heat on Donald Trump. How will they do that? The reputation of the Department of Justice and FBI, they went all in on one particular thing to save themselves. What was it? The dossier.
Yes.
See, you put me in a better mood.
Good.
I was really blanked off when you get it. When I got on the air. I'm furious. Joe Scarborough. They did everything by the book. Yeah, Joe, okay. Are you smoking bongs in your office, Joe? Seriously, you and Mika hitting the skunk weed in the office, the chocolate tie. What are you doing back there,
Chocolate tie,
folks? I think that was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So my neighborhood, I did not do drugs. So listen, kids, if you're listening, don't do them. I didn't do them, but a lot of people around me did in New York City. I remember all kinds of funny names. Yeah, I'm sure in the music field you were in, Joe, you have no experience with this at all.
I was laughing,
either.
dude. Yeah,
I can only imagine. But Joe's stories, sheesh, we may have to do a NC-17 show for that. So this guy, he was a music guy. That's why he looks like Elvis.
L.A. in the 80s.
Understand. That's right. The FBI based its entire case on the dossier. That was Plan B, okay? Mm-hmm. Plan B for them, not the FBI, but the Obama administration in general, the larger picture, Plan A, was to spy on political opponents, Mike Flynn and others, using human assets, Stefan Halper and others, unmasking, basically wiretapping people, and misuse of the NSA database. That was their original plan. When that broke down, Devin Nunes talks about, I talk about Plan B, but he calls it the legal spying. So the FBI needed now a legal reason when a lot of that broke down because people started to say, hey, what's going on over here with this NSA database? And I think they were afraid of whistleblowers. They wanted to put a legal face on the spying. So they go to the FISA court. They go to the FISA court with this Russian collusion fairy tale that comes from one spot. Sorry for rehashing this, but it's important. And one spot only. Joe Biden math, one spot only.
Oh.
One spot only. It comes from the dossier. I'm putting up 4 fingers for you audio listeners. So for Bob Mueller to rescue the reputation of the FBI that sunk their legal FISA court spying, sunk their reputation into the dossier, Mueller has to do what? He has to put some teeth on the dossier and make it appear semi-legitimate so that later on his buddies and pals in the FBI, Comey, Baker, remember, Mueller's a career insider, will look like, well, this was just an honest mistake. We got a warrant to spy. It was a credible source in Christopher Steele, and the information just turned out to be bad in the end. But look, in the end, we eventually got some really bad guys in jail. I wrote it down like this. The FISA is Plan B. The dossier is the FISA. Mueller follows the dossier as a roadmap. That's the whole point of book 2. How Mueller, in their final chapters, how Mueller follows the dossier like a roadmap to rescue his buddy Comey and the FBI to make it appear that the dossier had some meat on the bone.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, you're cool.
Ombudsman Joe, thank you.
This isn't too hard. You're good.
All right. I haven't got any emails where people are confused in a long time, so that's why I rely on. And I know some of you, and I understand. You say, well, will you repeat yourself a lot? I do. I get it. And I understand that, ladies and gentlemen, but I do it so when you leave this show, there's no doubt. So I believe the Mueller report, which is going to drop tomorrow, mañana, is going to cover 2 bases. Base number 1 is what I just described. It is going to be a report that tries to legitimize a dossier that is illegitimate. It is going to do that by making the people in the dossier and the spying component seem legitimate because the people they were spying on were really bad guys.
Okay.
Secondly, the new standard the Democrats have put out for information that will be in this Mueller report, I have no doubt, is, well, it's going to contain a lot of negative information about Trump, and we should use that. Negative information. Wow, that's hysterical, Joe. Negative information is the new standard. Are we serious? Negative information. So just to be clear, there's no probable cause to charge them with a crime, the Trump team, and Trump himself for any collusion, right? How do we know that? Because no one was charged with a crime for collusion. Nobody. Not Papadopoulos, not Flynn, not Cohen. No one was charged with conspiracy to collude with the Russians on behalf of the Trump team to overthrow the results of the election or toss them into chaos. Nobody was charged with that. So there was no evidence of a crime. So the Democrats who can't let that go will say, well, if there's enough negative information, we're going to use that. I find this hysterical. Why, Joe? Because Jim Comey gave a July 5th, 2016 speech about Hillary Clinton and her email scandal that was about 20 straight minutes, Joe, of negative information about what Hillary did, how they used horrible judgment, how they set up a private server. In the original speech, they talked about her emailing Barack Obama from foreign soil. That was wiped out later. This is all, Joe, negative information.
Yes, sir.
But notice how when it's negative information on Hillary and Democrat cronies, we're supposed to forget all of that. Don't you worry. These are not the droids you're looking for. This is not the negative information you're looking for. But when it's negative information on Trump, then yes, that negative information is gospel. Should be used for impeachment, character assassination, should be used for repeated political attacks. The Mueller report will serve up, I'm sure, a bevy of negative information not related to any crime whatsoever. If I investigated Joe, Paula, or anybody else with the assets applied to the Mueller probe, I assure you I'd find negative information too.
Definitely.
The question is, was a crime committed? And the answer is no. So when your friends bring up the negative information standard, you should ask them, well, does the negative information about Hillary count? What about the negative information about the Trump Tower meeting, where the people that showed up who had connections to Hillary Clinton and people work? That's negative information. Does that matter? No, not that negative information. No. What about the Ukrainian lawmaker, Sergei Lyshenko, who Nellie Orr admits they were getting information from Fusion GPS while they were under contract with Hillary? In other words, the textbook definition of foreign collusion. What about that then negative information? No, that negative information doesn't matter either. This is your answer. I'm setting you up. Ground ball, bunt. Here you go, bunt. You want to keep the bat, this end of the bat high when you're bunting. It's important. If you dip it low, you'll pop it up. I love baseball. It's my favorite sport. Keep that. Remember, catch the ball with the bat. There you go. This is a bunt. Remember my big fat Greek wedding? It's a bunt cake. A bunt? A bunt. Remember that? A bunt? Remember they bring the bunt cake? I love that scene. A bunt. What's a bunt? This is a bunt. When they tell you, oh, it's full of negative information. Okay, great. So negative information is all the new standard for destroying the character of people. Well, let's go down the list. Hillary's connections to the people in the Trump Tower meeting. Does that matter? No, not that. The Ukrainians? What about that? What about the Hillary email scandal? All the stuff that came out with that scandal. That was Obama. What about Benghazi, IRS, Fast and Furious? That was all negative information. No, none of that matters. All right, moving on. That's the negative information talking about. I'm telling you heard it here first. You're going to hear it and you're going to laugh now. I had a bunch of negative information in there. The second point on this Mueller report is going to be to character assassinate people involved in the largest components of this scandal to rescue the dossier and the reputation of the FBI. Let's go to this Paul Sperry piece first in Real Clear Investigations. Let me see. See, we're working on a trick here, my wife and I. Nice! My wife and I were engaged in verbal judo before this. Paula, I love her to death, but she's mad at me right now. Paula, how mad are you and me at a scale of 1 to 10? She's a 15. I'm not kidding, by the way. This is a real show. This is a real husband-wife duo. She's very upset at me. But we're working on a sign because sometimes when we do this stuff, I don't give the proper cues. So this is my sign. Folks, if you're missing this on audio, youtube.com/Bungee. One more time for the sign.
Swing.
So we did the sign, and it was right up there. Do you like the sign?
Yeah.
This is not a comedy show today. I'm sorry. I'm just really fired up about all this crap going. I mean it. I'm really upset, and I'm trying to put on a good show for you through my rage. That's just burning in me right now
sign is
over
funny.
the stupidity of me. Yeah.
Now that
there we go.
Yeah, thank you.
You like that? So Real Clear Investigations, Paul Sperry, a terrific